Hey everybody, Hive Doctor here, Big Jeep, and here to do part 4 of my colony tracing progression mapping. So today we're going to be doing that with these 2 colonies, and then after this we will compile everything that we learned from the month of March into one overall growth chart in part 5, the one that's going to come after this. So I've got a lot going on. I'll explain it as we get started. I've already got a smoker lit, pretty sure. Yeah, there we go. And let's go ahead and open up some hives and get going. So both colonies are flying really well. Just to bring you up to speed, last time I gave each one my own deep of drawn out comb to give them a head start. Let's go ahead and start with marking today's weather. We have had no rainfall to mention, and the forage availability. So here we are on the 31st. You can see it's been this long since my last inspection. And that's okay. I'm about to mark sunny. It's not sunny. It's sunny and partly cloudy. So my gimbal just died on me. Anyways, let's finish what we were doing. Sunny, partly cloudy, no rain to mention, and then forage availability. We still are not in a honey flow, but spring is definitely still springing. So I'm marking minor sources available. All right, we're going to get into Bluehive first. And as we do, I could just kind of tell you what's going on with me. Like, I'm tired. I don't feel like doing this. And I've had a lot of days like this where I don't really feel like digging into a hive, especially when it's more than one box. It just feels like a lot of work and a little overwhelming at times. Is it a big deal? No, not really. But I made myself do it anyways. And the reason I guess I'm telling you this is I've had times where I just didn't feel like doing it, so I didn't. And then later regretted not doing it. Oh man, that's heavy. What have they been doing? So check this out. We've already got a lot of bees worked up into this deep hive body. They're very calm. I'll bet you the queen has started laying, but we're going to check that one next. We're going to get into the box here, get our numbers, then we'll get into that one and do the same. Okay, a little bit of smoke. Very calm bees. Like I said, I can tell they're queen right still. We're going to go ahead and get this undrawn frame out of the way. And since I put this other deep on them, they're probably not going to draw this out until I force their space, constrict it. Okay, right here we got a lot of open, mostly just pollen, which tells me the next frame is going to be brood. This frame is lighter. They've been using the honey on it. They may have moved it upstairs to make room down here for the queen to lay more. A lot of capped right there. All the open cells have eggs and larvae. Same on this side. So that's one frame of brood. Same story on this one. This is the second frame of brood. A lot of open brood on this one. Larva, younger larva. It looks really good. I'm curious to see if we'll have 4 frames of brood this time, because last few checks they've only had 3 in this box. Again, a lot of bees chewing their way out. See some waggle dancing going on. A lot of younger open larvae there. That's 3 frames. Let's see what we got on this one. Yep, the queen has moved over here. So we've got a little bit of capped brood, and then some older larvae and a bunch of eggs. On this side, they're using up the honey. So they've got a lot less food stores in this box from either using it and or moving it upstairs. So we've got brood on 4 frames here. And I'll bet you the queen is going to be in this upper deep. So we'll put this back together and go looking. But yeah, anyways, what I was saying earlier, I've learned that sometimes when you don't want to get into a hive is when you should, as far as like you just don't feel like it. I've definitely given in to the I don't feel like it's before and regretted it later. Man, this deep is got some weight to it. They have been working it. All right, let's get this quilting box off. A little bit of smoke. And I will refocus you guys as soon as we get this open. Cool, all right, so just looking down in between, there are bees working between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I see comb that's been whitened. The bees have definitely worked up into this and faster than I thought they would. Just a little bit of smoke. Let's work our way in towards the center. This box has some old homemade frames in it. So of course they're not working the outside yet. No surprise there. I've got bees on the next frame. This is one of my Varroa control frames, and they're putting nectar in it this far out. Third frame in. Looks like they are beginning to whiten up this damaged comb. The pattern looks like where I would have taken out some wax moth and just thrown it away and then put the frame back in the box. And they're repairing that. They are also putting a little bit of nectar on this frame. The next frame looks like they have freshened up the comb, and it is got some weight to it. There's quite a bit of nectar in this frame on both sides. That's a lot. They have been really working. Like I said, they went into this box way faster than I thought they would. That's a good colony, and this one's smaller than the one behind me. So if there's going to be brood, I suspect it's going to be on one of the next 3 frames. Again, this frame is even heavier, and I see where they've made room for the queen. They have all of this filled with open nectar. This is emptied, and they're putting pollen in there a little bit. Looks like they're getting it ready for the queen to lay in. Same on this side, though I don't see any eggs yet. A lot of new bees. Can't wait to see what we get on the next frame. It's always like a surprise. Here's a Varroa control frame. There's our queen. They've got, wow, she's got all of that drone comb on the bottom of this medium full of drone. So there she is. And then all of that comb is older larvae of drone. And then this entire open area, you can see the nectar there. The areas you don't see nectar are full of eggs and larvae. She has been busy on this frame, and it's the same on this side. Laid full. Now ideally, the way my Varroa control frames work, next time I come and this is capped, just this, I would physically remove it from the colony, and thereby physically removing a lot of mites. All right, so that makes 5 frames of brood. You know, I better make sure I know where the queen is, because this frame bottoms out a little bit. I don't want to squash her. There she is. She's right on the bottom. So I'll blow on her a little bit. She's going to run up. She's right there. That's a safe spot. So now I can put this in. Look on this next frame. And this deep frame is full of brood. They've rainbowed the top with open nectar, some pollen. She has been busy. Wow. Eggs, larvae on this side. That's now brood on 6 frames. Let's see if they put it on a 7th. This is heavy. So this is just open nectar. They're just storing food here. So we've gone from 3 frames of brood to 7 within the last, 10 days? Okay, I'm going to do it right this time. We're on the 31st here. I'm not going to mess up with it I did last time. All right, so Bluehive. They have a ton of eggs. So they are growing. It was a good move to give them that comb. Their brood production, they are really booking. So their brood production is fast. And their brood area, number of broods of frames of brood, was 7. So I doubt, I'm going to go ahead and leave room just in case. The other one's 7 as well. The other one was 5 last time, but I'll bet they have even more since we gave them that drawn out comb. Adult density, there's a ton of bees in this colony. Comb building, they were whitening the comb, freshening it up, so I'm going to give them that. Space adequacy, they still have a lot of space, but they are filling it up fast, which gives me an idea of when my next inspection should be. Their resource placement, they are storing less around the brood in the bottom, but more around the brood in the top on those top brood frames in the second deep. So I'm going to still say that. They are putting it on the peripheral, but now that they have another deep, they are putting it above as well. So they're doing all 3 when it comes to this resource placement. Drone production, oh yeah, a lot of drone production going on. Queen selectivity, I saw no queens. This colony is still not considering swarming. That's a big one. That's a really cool one to see. And their demeanor, of course, their behavioral tone was a happy face. They were not mean. Now let's get into Yellowhive. First thing I'm going to do is remove this bare box of comb and the quilting box. Smoke underneath. There are bees up in this deep between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the frames. But we're going to take this one off and inspect it last, just like we did on the first colony. This one's not as heavy as the other one. Even though this colony is larger in population. Ooh, don't do that. Okay, bees look good down here. Give them a little bit of smoke so we can work in here. Take out our first frame. One of the reasons I like running 9 frames is you don't have that tight 10th frame. Sometimes that can be a beast, especially when there's a lot of honey in the box and tons of bees. Okay, let's put this right here. This frame, just a bunch of pollen, no brood on it. This side, not much of anything. There's our queen. Of course, this is a nice big frame of brood, capped, older larva. A lot of capped brood on this side. So that's 1 frame of brood. When the bees get where your hive tool has to go, don't be afraid to smoke them a little bit. 2 frames of brood, a lot of capped brood emerging, older larva, a lot of capped brood on that side, some pollen. So it's 2 frames, this is going to be 3. This would be a great colony. Both of these would be great to split right now, but my goal is honey production on these 2 because these are my clients' hives. That's the whole purpose. We got drone brood on this, a lot of capped worker brood, older larva, areas where the queen could come back and lay, tons of capped brood on this side, bees loaded with yellow and orange pollen. So it's 3 frames of brood. And notice we found the queen in the bottom box this time. Wonder if that's why the other box is so light. They're not working up in there like the other colony. A lot of capped brood. A lot of capped brood. This hive's about to bust. Their population's about to go up big time. That was frame number 4 of brood. This is going to be 5. Oh yeah, a lot of young stuff. Open larva. A little bit of capped on this side. Let's see if they've got 1 more frame of brood or if it's just resources. Yep, that's brood on that side. Capped, all 3 stages. She's not come to this side, so she's probably going to work her way up instead of out, since that's the option we gave her. Sometimes when the bees get this busy up here, I gotta smoke when I put things back together so they don't get squashed. Okay, let's see what we've got up here. A little bit of smoke across the top, to the bee in my face. First frame loose. They're cleaning this frame up. They're speckling it with open nectar a little bit. Little bit more nectar on this frame. And it's isolated to this area, you know, right where the bees are. These two frames are stuck together. Okay, there we go. More on this side. Nectar here. They've got some comb right here where they stuck this to the frame next to it. A little bit of pollen. I anticipate the next frame potentially having brood on it, but it doesn't. That one's mostly open. I guarantee the queen will be laying up in here very soon. So this area here, I can see where they put or rainbowed in some open nectar. They prepared this area for the queen to lay in. She'll be up here very soon. Same on this side. Same on this frame. She hasn't worked up in here yet. We'll just check one more because there's no point going any further. This is just nectar. All right, so that's really interesting. This colony has had more brood than the other one this whole month. I gave them both a box, and that other smaller colony went to town on making brood. And now they're ahead of this one as far as brood production. But they're both still good colonies. Okay, here we are over on the 31st. Egg presence, yeah, she's still laying eggs. I'm glad I did this right this time. Keep track of 2 hives in one. Brood production velocity, since they did not increase from last time, I'm going to say that they were remaining steady. But remember, they are making room for the queen to lay in that upper deep. They just haven't yet. So I'm going to mark this as steady until they show further growth. Brood area, number of frames of brood, they're still at 5, but again, they're about to have more, but they don't today. So that's what we mark. So you see the Bluehive, they did this. Yellowhive did this. So those lines show you growth indication. Adult population, there's still a lot of bees in there. Comb building, they weren't building comb, they were freshening it up, and I count that because I've got to make wax platelets to do so. They still have plenty of room to work into. Resource placement, they definitely still had it around on the brood frames, on the peripheral, and they weren't storing much upstairs like above the brood. They were making room for the brood and then had nectar rainbowed around it, so I don't consider that being placed above the brood nest. So I'm going to mark them just as that. Drone production, yes, they're making drones. I saw drone brood and drones. Still no signs of swarming in this colony. No queen cells whatsoever. They're happy with what they have. And again, their demeanor was very calm. Now this colony tracing, this progression mapping tool, it goes much further. Now that I have the information that I have, there are several charts to help me gauge trends environmentally and in each colony. The next part of this series will be the final part where I show you how we map the most important variables of colony growth in a monthly way so that we can see their annual progression. And that will reveal to us honeybee colony goals in each season. We will see whether they're building, maintaining, diminishing. This stuff reveals it and puts it in a visual scale. You guys just saw it with my colored pencils on a small scale, but in this next part, that's what we're going to do. So aside from that, what else is in the news with the Hive Doctor here? Well, the Beak Jeep here lost third gear the other day. So I ordered one. I have never worked inside of a transmission. I have dropped the transmission on this and done some maintenance, filled it with new fluid and stuff, did some other stuff and things, but I've never taken the transmission apart. I hear manual is easier than automatic, but that's what we're going to be doing. And then eventually, probably going to sell this one and upgrade to a newer Jeep that doesn't require so much work. And then one day I would love to get another YJ as a project Jeep, and that's just for fun. But that's where I am. Feeling a little tired from that because it's a lot of work, mentally, physically fatigued, but I made myself get up and get out and do this work today, even though I didn't feel like it. And I'm always glad after the fact. I'm glad that I made myself disciplined enough to get out and work the bees, because like I said earlier, the times that I've not been disciplined to do that, and I knew that I should, I always regretted it. I got behind, I missed timetables, and seasons keep going even when I don't feel great. So I hope you guys are feeling good though, and that you've learned a little bit about that it's okay to feel like crap sometimes as a beekeeper, a little overwhelmed, because you know we've got lives other than bees, and in the overall, life is good. I'm happy to be able to learn new things, even if it's out of my comfort zone. That's how we get better at what we do, right? So I'll see you guys in part 5 of colony tracing. Thank you for joining me in this video, and you can learn a lot more about this and the tool that you see me using that's going to be coming out in my volume 4 of the signal-based series. I'll link it here in the description below, and you'll see it on the ending screen as well. Thank you guys again for joining me. Hi, Dr. Out.